Now to part two of a Two Wants to Know investigation involving a local contractor. Several families told us that the contractor took their money but never finished the job. Tonight, Two Wants to Know's Kevin Kennedy explains why it might be hard for families to get justice.
Let's start with a quick recap of our investigation. Starting around September of last year, several homeowners started reaching out to News 2 about a contractor they were having issues with.
He'd do a little bit of work here, a little bit of work there. There was a point where he said that his entire crew had left him.
4 different families telling us this man, Larry Kendall Johnson, was hired to make repairs or additions to their homes, but ultimately failed to complete the job.
I don't know when I've ever been more let down. I had all the confidence in the world in him.
Some work done, but not well, according to homeowners, and in some cases, state inspectors. Work was also slow and often delayed. Promises made, broken. Money paid, now lost.
I don't know what needs to change, but something definitely needs to change because, yeah, this isn't right.
Collectively, the families believe Johnson owes them around $150,000. These cases investigated by the Randolph County Sheriff's Office.
We can investigate it, but when you get district court, criminal court, you know what they'll do? They'll bust it down to civil court.
That's exactly what happened. The DA deciding a crime wasn't committed.
I just don't see how this much money can be stolen from this many people and it not be a charge.
To better understand why this isn't a crime, we spoke with Jordan Ford at the North Carolina Conference of District Attorneys.
In order to prove any crime, you've got to be able to show a criminal intent. And
that threshold from civil to criminal is high. Proving a contractor knowingly accepted a job with no intent to finish is difficult at best.
This is why these cases are so difficult, is because they are incredibly fact specific and really usually require a fine-tune analysis of financial records.
Investigations could take several months with no guarantee of a conviction. Randolph County District Attorney Andrew Gregson sent us this email stating in part, North Carolina's general felony statute specifically states that the evidence of non-fulfillment of a contract is not sufficient alone to establish the essential element of intent to defraud.
From the top to the bottom.
Resource limitations also affect these cases. With just 10 ADAs and roughly 16,000 cases a year, violent crimes or crimes that endanger the public get priority.
I think when we start talking about changing any sort of criminal laws and picking and choosing which sorts of crimes we change based on how we feel about them, we're in a really slippery slope.
The problem for people like Kelly, Jill, Pam, or Penny is that civil court is often ineffective.
Hopefully, he will someday agree to pay me back the money.
Penny won a $10,000 judgment back in March of last year. To date, Johnson has paid nothing.
We don't know how far down on the list I am as far as the judgments against him.
As of now, Johnson is free to walk, take more jobs with no real pressure to refund anyone. So will he?
If it takes the rest of my life, I'll pay him back whatever they feel like is fair.
Johnson admits mistakes, bad decisions, and delays sabotage the jobs and relationships, but at this point, only offering.
I'd like to apologize for the harm that I've caused him and the trouble and the aggravation.
Trouble and aggravation quadrupled, problems not yet resolved, some homes still in disarray.
So the question now is, will these families ever get their justice? Coming up tomorrow night at 11, the one shot they still have. Kevin Kennedy, Two Wants to Know.